This week on Southern Food Junkie, we're making a low country boil to feed a large crowd, and we're using the boil balls to do it. Stick around and see how it does. Alright, so a couple years ago, more like 6 years ago, we showed you how we make a low country boil. And that video and that recipe to do like at your house for like a small gathering, like 2, 4, 6 people. Today we're having a big low country boil. I'm going to show you how to do it, and we're testing out a new product. This is called the Boil Boss, and basically what this is this is a ring, and you hook it up to your hose pipe and you hang this on the pot. And once you get done with cooking, previously the way we would do it is once we throw in our shrimp, we would cut the burner off and we would let it soak for 20 minutes. And what that does, that soaking period, is it allows all that seasoning to absorb back into the food. This squirts out water. It's got little holes all around here, and it squirts water on the pot, and it cools it down to the optimum temperature. There's one more piece that goes with this. And this is the paddle. You can see here, Boil Boss. And if you look right here, it's got a thermometer in it, and the thermometer goes all the way to the top right here. So the way this works is you get it up to your cooking temperature. You can use this to stir, cut your burner off, cut the water on, put the ring on, cut the water on, and let it start cooling the pot down. And once it gets to that green area right there, you'll cut the water off, and that's where you'll let it soak at. That's supposed to be the optimal temperature to absorb all the flavorings. The first thing we're going to do is take our 30-quart pot and fill it halfway up with water. Next, we're going to dump in 2 6-ounce containers of Old Bay seasoning. We're going to use the paddle to stir in the seasoning, and we're going to fire up our propane burner. Next, we got a Vidalia onion that we've cut into quarters. We're going to throw that into the water, and then we got 2 lemons that we slice in half. We're going to squeeze the juice out of them and throw them into the pot. After your water has come up to a rolling boil, which will take about 30 minutes considering how much water you have, you want to throw in your potatoes. Now we have roughly about 10 pounds of potatoes here, and we have them cut into quarters. You're going to let these cook for approximately 15 minutes before we add in the next ingredients. So what I like to do is I like to set a timer on my phone. That way I don't mess around and forget. After your 15 minutes is up, we're going to add in our smoked sausage and our mini sweet corn. We're using 4 pounds of smoked sausage, and we're using 22 mini frozen corn. Now if you have fresh corn, that's the best. You can use that, and you can add, I like to do one section of corn per person, and then I like to throw in a couple extra in there in case some people may want to have 2. So if you're having 15 people, you might want to do 17 or 18 pieces of corn. I also like to add in some celery to mine too. You want to make sure you continue to stir your stew every so often to get those potatoes up off the bottom so they will get done. Here you can see on the top of the Boil Boss paddle that our temperature is back rising after we dumped in our frozen corn and vegetables and sausage. After the 10-minute timer is up from your sausage and your corn, it's time to add in your shrimp. The broth is hot enough to poach the shrimp and cook it completely. So what I do is once I put the shrimp in, I cut the burner off. Everything's done. We've cut the burner off. Now we're going to put our Boil Boss on. Basically, it just hooks to a hose pipe. It's got this little valve right here. You can cut it on and off. It's got these 3 arms. You pretty much just hang it on the pot like this. Get your paddle. Like I said, you're going to use a thermometer, and we're trying to get it into that green area right there, which is like 150 to about 160 degrees. So the whole point of the Boil Boss system is to stop the cooking process. So by putting this ring on there and putting the cold water on there, you bring the temperature down really quick. I think it takes like 3 to 5 minutes to bring it down from 220 to the 150 to 160 degree temperature range. So based on the research from the people at Boil Boss, the 150 and 160 degree temperature range is the perfect range for food to absorb the seasoning. In the past, people would just dump ice into the broth, and that would water down the broth and therefore dilute the seasoning. So by using the Boil Boss system here, you don't dilute your seasoning and you can get it cooled down quickly. Now that it's done cooking, we're going to cut the Boil Boss on, allow the water to cool the pot down. Main thing to do is to continue to stir it with your paddle and keep an eye on the temperature gauge on the top of the paddle. Stirring it allows the temperature to disperse evenly. If you don't stir it, you might have cool and hot spots in there, and so some things will keep cooking. So it's best to continue to stir it until it gets into the temperature range. It's been about 3 minutes, and you can see here that we almost at our 160 degree range, where we're going to cut the Boil Boss off and just let it soak. Alright, now we're going to cut the Boil Boss off and we're going to let our stew soak for about 10 to 20 minutes. Alright, it didn't take long for that to cool down. We went from about 210 degrees to 160 degrees in probably about 5 minutes. Now we're going to let it soak for about 10 minutes before we eat this. We're going to dip it out and we'll put it in a pan to serve it. And you're pretty much done. It's time to enjoy it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video here of us making this low country boil and showing the Boil Boss. I've had this for a little while. This company sent it to us to try out, and I've actually had it for about a year now, and I've been waiting for the perfect time to use it, and today was that day. And we hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And this thing right here works. It does what it says. 5 minutes, it brought the temperature down to the optimal range, and this stuff is good, I'm telling you. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that little subscribe button right there. Also, there'll be a video that'll pop up right here and here. Check out one of those. I hope it'll be something that you enjoy. We'll see you next time on Southern Food Junkie. Remember, let's get food junk.